How's it going, everyone? There's a disgusting report out of the New York Times saying that the Dutch government is actually planning to buy and then close down up to 3,000 farms. These are agricultural farms, all right? They produce food. Why would they ever think about doing that? Why would you ever stop, okay, people from producing food? It's psychotic. Anyways, so the Dutch government planning to buy and close. Okay, so they want to buy it off the farmers and then close it down, shut down the production up to 3,000 farms. And this is Netherlands. So it's a very small, tiny country. And the whole point of this is that it's supposed to be environmentally sensitive areas so that it's in compliance with EU environmental rules. But again, this is just psychotic because these people produce food. Anyways, so it comes after they had all these crazy protests there about food and the farmers being cut out of the workforce, essentially. And these are farms that some of these farmers, they've been doing it for generations, you know? And on top of that, what's crazy is Netherlands has experienced some of the highest food price increases in decades. So not only are the food prices skyrocketing, but then they're going to shut down the farms. That's crazy. So farmer protests erupted this past summer following the government's plan to reduce certain nitrogen emissions by 50%, which is quite a bit, 50% by 2030, 8 years from now. And it's so outlandish that it's hard for me to read this stuff. Farmers believe the measure unfairly targets them, of course, because they're in the agricultural sector. And they are responsible for the largest portion, according to the government, they're responsible for the largest portion of nitrogen emissions in the Netherlands. But again, Netherlands, tiny country. It's going to have near zero effect overall. So it's pretty wild. The government will conduct a compulsory purchase, okay? Compulsory, of large nitrogen emitters as part of a voluntary, supposedly voluntary, but how is it compulsory and then voluntary? I don't get it. A one-time offer, announced Nitrogen Minister Christian van der Wal, according to Bloomberg. Psychotic. According to the government, they will be offered a deal well over the value of the farm so that they can be purchased and then shut down. Food prices all across Europe in general, but Netherlands specifically, is, according to the Netherlands Times, is roughly 15 to 20%, depending on what you're buying. So it's already high, the highest in decades. But now it's going to be even crazier. It's shocking what these people, these are the geniuses that are trying to hyper manage the world. And now you can't even own a farm. You can't farm for food. Psychotic. This is why I say buy more land. Of course, it is problematic if they want to come in and do this compulsory purchase of the farmland. So it's kind of problematic, right? But at least you can make some food for the time being in some places in the world. Jesus. Pretty wild stuff coming out of the Netherlands. Oof. What's next? Honestly, I didn't realize what was going on. So why does any of this matter, right? Why does this tiny country like the Netherlands, their farmers, only 3,000 of them, why would they matter that much? Well, in reality, it's because obviously all over the world, there is a problem with food inflation in general. And according to all the price indexes, they're going through the roof. So the World Food Program and the Food and Agriculture Organization at the UN are basically putting out a report. They put out a report outlining countries that are either starving or on their way to starving. So not good news. And here's a map of early warning hunger hotspots in Africa, and you have some places in Latin America and Middle East and things like that. What's interesting is this chart. Now, some say that during the whole Arab Spring moments in 2011, they said that food prices were kind of a catalyst for all the mayhem and all the uprising that happened during that time. And now what we see is that the food is cost more, a lot more actually, and we could experience the same, if not worse, in 2023. There's a lot of places that are susceptible. So this is another way of basically pointing out that food, not just here in the US, not just in Europe, but in very problematic areas where food is just too expensive. This is going to create mayhem across the world. And time again, global officials, whether you believe them or trust them or don't at all, they have been telling us over and over that, guess what? We're heading into an unprecedented time of a global food crisis. So this idea of agricultural production basically going way below the expectations all over the planet this year, it means that there will be a lot less food for next year, for the coming seasons. This is very, very problematic. Not just that, but also with inflation. Food is even more expensive. So it's going to cause a lot of mayhem. And here in the US, there's been a crazy drought. In western parts of the country, it says 37% of farmers, say that they will be killing their own crops because there's no chance that they will come to maturity due to the endless drought. Very, very problematic. So what happens to the food prices? They skyrocket. German state of Baden-Württemberg, crop losses of up to 50% going to affect Europe again. And a lot of people don't want to listen to the warnings. There's even article about a potential rice shortage coming out of India, which basically feeds an insane amount of countries just with rice. It's crazy. But anyways, that's it for now. Smash a like, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one.
Can anybody out there hear me?